Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood. Now, it may seem a little juvenile or silly, but it's also an important part of health for every living creature on the planet. So today, we're going to be learning all about poop. Now, if you like learning about anything and everything in the world, but you don't like listening to ads, check the links in the show notes because for just $3 a month, you can support this show and get all my podcasts completely ad-free. Now, as always, before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. When you walk along a stunning, pristine white sand beach in a tropical paradise like Hawaii, would you believe you're actually walking on millions of bits of fish poop? Some say all that white sand on the beaches is actually created by a fish that eats the hard, rocky coral reef and then excretes it as a fine, powdery white sand. What do you think? Could a single species of fish and its poop really be responsible for creating those famous picture-perfect sandy shores? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is coprolite. That's C-O-P-R-O-L-I-T-E. A coprolite is the scientific term for fossilized feces or poop. While it might look like an ordinary lumpy rock to the untrained eye, a coprolite is actually a preserved piece of prehistoric animal waste that's turned to stone over millions of years. Paleontologists actually treasure these unique fossils because they provide direct evidence of what ancient creatures, including massive dinosaurs, actually ate. By carefully cutting a coprolite open and examining it under a microscope, scientists can find bits of crushed bone, fish scales, or plant fibers that survived the digestive process. The word coprolite comes from the Greek roots kopros, meaning dung, and lithos, which translates to stone. It was first coined in 1829 by the fossil hunter William Buckland, who realized that certain mysterious cone-shaped rocks were actually the fossilized remains of ancient animal meals. Before Buckland's discovery, many people collected these strange stones without ever realizing they were holding prehistoric poop in their hands. Today, the study of coprolites is a highly respected branch of paleontology that continues to unlock incredible secrets about ancient ecosystems and food chains. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about poop. Number 1. Wombats are the only known animals in the world that produce cube-shaped poop. This adorable Australian marsupial has baffled scientists for decades with its uniquely geometric droppings. The secret to their cubed poops lies in the wombat's highly specialized and incredibly long digestive tract. As a wombat digests its grassy diet over a period of up to 14 days, its intestines stretch and contract in a specific, irregular rhythm. This rhythmic squeezing forms the dry waste into distinct cubes before it leaves the animal's body. By the time the digestion process is complete, the wombat has extracted almost every single drop of water, leaving behind a firm, dry block. Producing cubed poop serves a very practical and important purpose for wombats in the wild. Because of their poor eyesight, wombats rely heavily on their sense of smell to communicate and mark their territory. They strategically place their droppings on elevated surfaces like rocks and logs to ensure the scent travels as far as possible. If their poop were spherical, like a rabbit's, it would roll off these high vantage points and fall to the ground. The cube shape ensures their stinky little messages stay exactly where they put them. Number 2. The Apollo astronauts left 96 bags of human waste resting on the surface of the moon. When human beings first traveled to the moon during the Apollo missions, they had to make some very tough choices about what to bring back home. To safely return to Earth, the lunar module had to be as light as possible, meaning every ounce of weight was carefully calculated. Astronauts wanted to bring back hundreds of pounds of precious lunar rocks and dust for scientific study, but they needed to compensate for the added mass. The simplest solution was to leave behind anything they no longer needed, including their own personal waste. As a result, neatly sealed bags of poop, pee, and vomit were tossed onto the lunar surface to make room for moon rocks. While it might sound like a careless way to litter in outer space, these abandoned bags of waste are actually of great interest to modern scientists. Today, astrobiologists are curious to know if any of the bacteria inside those bags managed to survive the harsh conditions of space. The moon experiences extreme temperature swings and intense radiation, which makes a very hostile environment for life. But bacteria are notoriously resilient, and some researchers believe the microbes inside the waste bags might exist in a frozen, dormant state. If future lunar missions ever retrieve these bags, they could provide groundbreaking data on how biological life endures in the vacuum of space. Number 3. Bird and bat droppings, known as guano, were once so valuable they sparked an international war. In the 19th century, guano was considered precious because it's one of the most effective natural fertilizers ever discovered. It's packed with essential agricultural nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which depleted farmlands desperately needed to grow crops. Countries quickly realized that controlling the world's guano supply meant controlling the future of global food production. The best guano in the world came from a few remote islands off the coast of South America, where millions of seabirds had been leaving their droppings for centuries. Because it rarely rained in the region, the guano piled up over time, creating mountains of nutrient-rich fertilizer that were dozens of feet deep. The global demand for this incredible fertilizer was so intense that it led to the Chincha Islands War of the 1860s. Spain attempted to seize these lucrative, guano-covered islands from Peru in order to monopolize the booming trade. Peru, backed by its neighbors Chile, Ecuador, and Bolivia, fought back fiercely to protect their most valuable economic resource. Ultimately, the South American alliance successfully defended the islands, ensuring the mainland control over that white gold. Number 4. Poop transplants are an actual medical procedure used by doctors to cure serious digestive illnesses. While it may sound kind of gross, a fecal microbiota transplant, or FMT, is a life-saving treatment for patients with severe bacterial infections. Inside our intestines, we have a complex microbiome made up of billions of good bacteria that help us digest food and fight off disease. Sometimes, when a patient takes powerful antibiotics, these good bacteria are wiped out, allowing dangerous bacteria like C. diff to take over. This bad bacteria causes terrible illness that can be resistant to traditional medicines, leaving doctors searching for alternative cures. To fix the imbalance, doctors will actually take healthy, screened feces from a donor and place it into a sick patient's digestive tract. Once the healthy donor stool is introduced to the patient's system, it brings a fresh army of beneficial microbes along with it. These good bacteria immediately get to work reproducing and crowding out the harmful pathogens that were causing the illness. Within just a few days, the patient's gut microbiome is usually restored to a healthy, balanced state, effectively curing the infection. The success rate for this procedure is incredibly high, often working much better than continued rounds of antibiotics. And our fifth and final fun fact for today, Kopi Luwak coffee is made from beans that have been eaten and pooped out. Kopi Luwak, often referred to as civet coffee, is renowned for being one of the rarest and most expensive beverages on the planet. The unique production process begins in the forests of Southeast Asia, where a small cat-like animal called the Asian palm civet roams. These wild civets are surprisingly picky eaters and seek out only the ripest, sweetest coffee cherries to snack on during the night. While the fleshy outer fruit is fully digested by the animal, the inner coffee bean remains intact as it travels through the civet's digestive tract. The beans are eventually excreted, and coffee farmers collect them from the forest floor to be washed, dried, and roasted. Coffee connoisseurs claim the journey through the civet's digestive system is the secret to the beverage's incredibly smooth flavor. Inside the animal's stomach, natural enzymes seep into the coffee beans and break down the proteins that usually cause bitterness. This natural biological fermentation process results in a cup of coffee that's incredibly rich, earthy, and completely free of any harsh aftertaste. Due to the labor-intensive process of finding and collecting wild civet dung, a single pound of Kopi Luwak can sell for hundreds of dollars. So, one creature's waste is truly another's treasured morning brew. Now for some news you can use. One of the best daily health hacks, and bear with me on this, take a quick peek in the toilet bowl before you flush. Doctors highly recommend checking the shape and consistency of your poop because it acts as a daily report card for your body's digestive health. Doctors actually take this so seriously, they developed the Bristol Stool Scale in 1997. It's a chart that acts as a visual guide to make sure doctors and patients have a common understanding of different characteristics of poop. Ideally, your waste should look like a smooth, soft sausage or snake. If it looks like hard, separate little lumps, it's a warning sign from your body that you're dehydrated and might need to drink a big glass of water. If it's too loose, you might need to add more fiber-rich veggies to your diet. Paying attention to these daily clues allows you to make quick, easy adjustments to your habits before you ever start feeling sick or sluggish. Beyond just shape and hydration, paying attention to the color is also important for your overall health. For example, if you ever notice a red tint or what looks like blood in your stool, it's a sign to schedule a visit to your doctor. While it can often be caused by something minor and easily treatable like hemorrhoids, it can occasionally be an early warning sign of more serious conditions like colon cancer. Taking a look at your daily deposit is considered so important in some European countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and Austria. You might encounter a traditional inspection toilet known as a Flachspüler. These unique toilets feature a flat, shallow ceramic basin, often affectionately called the inspection shelf, positioned exactly where the waste lands. This built-in shelf catches everything before it slides into the water, allowing you to easily and thoroughly examine your health report card before you finally press the flush button. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, is it true that tropical white sand beaches are actually made of fish poop? Well, this one's a fact. The beautiful parrotfish spends its days using its strong, beak-like teeth to scrape algae off the coral reefs. In the process, they accidentally swallow a lot of hard calcium carbonate from the coral itself. Because they can't digest the rocky coral, their bodies grind it up and excrete it as fine, powdery white sand. A single large parrotfish can produce over 800 pounds of this beautiful white sand every single year, So, those gorgeous tropical beaches are largely the result of thousands of years of fish bathroom breaks. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about poop with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.